Hi guys, welcome along to On the Whistle. I'm your host Zayn Nabbi, and today we'll be speaking to a rising star who fled the Ukraine soon after the war broke out. Amilcar Djau Codjovi, who played for Vorskla Poltava, tells us about his harrowing escape and how his safe passage out was secured after a call from the Croatian Prime Minister. Yes, you heard that correct. Codjovi also recalls all the details of his dramatic road trip, his emotional reunion with his family, and talks about how one day he could play for the Ivory Coast or Guinea-Bissau. Take a listen to my interview with him now. Amilcar, you've been through quite the ordeal since you left the Ukraine. For everyone listening out there, could you explain your story? No detail is too small. Tell us where you were playing, your club, and what happened before you left the country.
It was 22nd of February. Was my birthday. That night, I had gunshots, and I thought there were fireworks. I told my teammate, "Oh, are the fireworks?" They said, "Oh yeah, the fireworks." And then I went to sleep that night. It was the night of my birthday. I went to sleep. When I woke up, the siren woke everyone up. The siren was like around the city, going very loud for like 20 minutes. So I woke up and I had like 5 missed calls from my dad. My mom called me really worried. I picked up and told me like I seen on the news like Kiev, the capital, they heard explosions in the capital and near the cities around Kiev. So that's when I started panicking. I was like, oh my days, I opened my suitcase, I put everything inside. And then I went outside to see what's going on, like inside the accommodation. And all my teammates were like, oh my God, like they invade Ukraine, like it's actually happening. So that's when I started like panicking a lot. And then my agent called me, my mom, like, how you gonna get out? What's your plans? Try to find something to get out. That was in the morning, like around 8 a.m. And I was thinking like, right now, like, I don't know how I'm gonna get out. Like, I will go and ask like my coach and stuff. He said to me, I asked him like, what's going on? He said, the second team coach told us, let's go out for training. I said, I'm not going training. Like, they just invade. I want to go home. I said, I'm not going training. Yeah. So I told them like, no, I'm not going training. Like, how am I gonna get out of the country? They said, okay, we'll have a meeting now. They sent a message to a group chat. They said, we'll have a meeting, gather at the stadium at 12 o'clock. So I said, all right. Then the coach went to the stadium and he said, all right, you stay here in the accommodation. We'll just get the information needed and then we'll come back and let you know. But then...
So just to ask a question, Amilcar, what day was this? Was this Feb 23rd?
This was on Thursday.
Okay, the Thursday gone, perfect.
Yeah.
And where's the accommodation in relation to the stadium?
It's 25 minutes away driving.
Okay, cool. Sorry to disturb you. I just wanted to get that. Keep going. You're telling the story really well.
All right. So yeah, now I'm at accommodation. Yeah, I'm obviously done my suitcase, everything. I'm waiting downstairs. Obviously, my Ukrainian teammates, they can't leave, so they're just looking a way to get back home to the family safe and make sure everything's all right. But I'm there now by myself in the accommodation. And I'm thinking like, what's going on? I don't have no news, anything. So then I call one of my teammates and they tell me, we're in the stadium already, like all of us, we're in the stadium, all the foreigners. I'm like, I haven't been informed, like the coach told me to stay here, he will come back and stuff. And then I was like, what's going on? He said, bro, at this time of point, you have to be like, it's everyone for themselves. Like, you get to the stadium, don't wait for anyone or anything, just get to the stadium and let's plan something to get out. So now it's 12 o'clock, I'm trying to get a taxi to the stadium, obviously. No taxi will come and pick me up. So I'm there for 1 hour, 2 hours, waiting, no taxi will come. Luckily, one taxi picked up and I got a taxi to the stadium. And then in the stadium, they said, the staff, the team, they told us that they will try and organize a bus for us to like go to the borders. But also they said that they think we should stay there for a couple of days till things calms down a little bit more and then try and go out because right now it's chaotic on the roads, too much traffic. And then I was like, no, I don't want to stay here for 2 days. Like this city could be the next one to like be bombed or anything. Like I'm not safe here. I don't want to be here. My mom was like, no, we need to get out tonight. So then they were moving a bit slow for the things that were happening there. And they also had family there, like the staff from my team and stuff. So now I went to my teammate's house, Lucas, he's from Brazil. And then while my other teammate, Oliver, he's from Luxembourg. And yeah, us three went to his apartment near the stadium, like 5 minutes away from the stadium. So we were there for a couple hours. We got some food from the shop quick, like some snacks in case we had to like go, water. Like, the most important thing is just water and like a couple of snacks. And then we had our suitcases ready and everything. We were looking for cars to like get out the country ASAP. With the staff also, they told us that we might be able to get a train, but then later on in the day, they said no trains available. So their staff, their team really didn't have any resources to help us at that time. Like they told me they were going to help me. So I was a bit like, disappointed. Like my mom, everyone, like, it's my team. They should be taking care of us a little bit more. And then luckily, yeah.
In football, particularly when you're at a club and you're a foreign player, the club becomes your family because you're not from there. And they had told you that it would be safe. If anything bad was going to happen, they would know, their families would know, and they would tell you. So they encouraged you to come for the start of the league season. They then told you, or the coach told you to go when it was all unfolding, to wait at the accommodation. And it was your teammates who said, hang on, we've got to make a plan. Do you feel that the club was overwhelmed and they miscommunicated? Do you feel that they misread the situation? Or do you think in the panic they were basically like, you know what, you sort yourself out? And tell me in your words how you...
in my way, I was just thinking like, they didn't really think they didn't believe they would invade. So they kept saying me like, yeah, if they invade, we will help you out. But when it actually happened, they didn't know, because I was thinking like, if they invade, what's the plan? How will I get out? Because there's no airports. Like, what's the plan? How would you get me out? They didn't know. Like, they weren't really prepared of how to get out. So when it happened, plus their families, they were in the capital as well. So you might have your teammates, your players, your family, people like telling you how can I get out and this. So I just felt like everything came up too quick. Like it just happened, and then they didn't know what to do. Basically, I think they were panicking. So yeah, basically that for my team, yeah, I didn't really get the help I thought I was gonna get, and then I just went to my...
Did the coach phone you at any point and apologize and explain? Have you heard from him since he told you, wait here, we'll come and get you?
Nah, I haven't heard anything yet. I don't think I will hear anything. So I'm not really now bothered about that because my phone's safe. But I'm just like, I'll be disappointed of how they organize the stuff. But I can't complain. I can't be like also just complaining too much about them, because also I understand some of the part where they have families in Kiev where it actually happened. The coach went to Kiev as well that same day. He took his car, went to Kiev to see his family. So I don't really blame them, because he might be also nervous. Like your family's there where the game bombed. So he literally went straight to Kiev when he had the opportunity. But then I was at the apartment now with my teammates. We're there planning how to get out. And then at 5 p.m. we got like a call of one of my teammates' agent from Luxembourg, Oliver. He said like, okay, there's 2 cars in Poltava where you people are staying right now. The keys are there in the stadium. You can go and get them, and then you can drive from Poltava to my house. It's near the border. It's near the border. It was in the mountains somewhere, so it was like 10 hours away from the border. But for us, that was close after the long journey we were gonna do. So we could get there some rest, and then we will leave the cars at his house, and then he will have a minivan and a driver from Ukraine that will drive us to the border. So now one of my Brazilian teammate, Lucas, he got in contact with some Brazilian family that were going past Poltava, go also to the border. So that means we had 3 cars now. We were 10 people. So we had 5 in one car, 5 in another car, and then Lucas went with the Brazilian family. So we left all together with 3 cars to Poland. Our first was to the border in Poland. So we started the journey. We had a little kid as well, who was 3 years old. Yeah, we had a little kid from my teammate's son. So we're driving now to the border in Poland at night, but it was really dangerous. So before leaving, we decided like, they said basically it's either try or staying, because if you're gonna get bombed, you either gonna get bombed at home on the way to the border. So at least if something happens, at least let's do a trying. Because they said after 10 p.m. no one should leave the houses because that was the night that happened. So it was really dangerous to go out at night. So if we went to the border, we had to go past Kiev. But there was another option that was like, if Kiev is here, we should go like all around the border until we avoid Kiev. But that would take like 15 hours more. But in that moment, we thought like that's the safest option and the best route. So 5 hours driving now. My teammate from Luxembourg called one of his teammates from the national team from Luxembourg, and he asked him like, "How are you? Like, how are you doing?" And he told us that he's at the border. It's chaotic. He's been there for 15 hours. He's nowhere near to go inside. So he told us this, and then we thought like, let's try and look for another borders because there must be other borders open. And they told us we had Romania, Slovakia, and Hungary. And at that point, we were a bit more closer to Hungary than the other two, Romania or Slovakia. So we decided to go to Hungary. So the two cars there were 3 cars there, and then my other teammate's car was in front of us. So we just told him and called him. And then Lucas, we were looking for the other car, but he was already like more up front. So we called him. He said, "Oh, it's all right. I'm going to the Polish border." We said, "Bro, please go to the Hungary one because the Polish one is really like right now is chaotic. You will take time for you to get there." So well, we're already on the way. We'll just keep updated. We said, "All right, we're driving now." It was like maybe 4 a.m. in the morning now. We went to get some petrol. To get petrol, you go to a gas station. There was no petrol. We had to go to the next gas station. There's no petrol. So we found petrol, and to put just petrol in the car, it would take like 3 hours because of the queue of the cars. Or sometimes we just walk and get the petrol in, like, this like to put the petrol inside. So we get them, or we just put it inside from the gas station, but it would take like 3 hours because of the queue of the amount of cars that were trying to leave the country to the borders and stuff. And then now in the morning, before on the way to the house of the agent to leave the cars and like get the minivan and get some rest, our car broke down on the middle of the road in the motorway.
Wow. So you're battling borders, your gas is running out, and now your car breaks down.
Yeah, like something happened because the roads we're going in, they were like normal roads. Like when you go like through the village and stuff, the roads are like sand with holes, like, and it's nighttime as well. So we're going with the car and we hit one bump, and then the wheel, the air, the tires went flat. So we had to stop, and then you could see like the tanks of Ukraine, like the big tanks going past, and I was like outside. I was scared. Like I thought they were Russian troops. Like I was just scared because you see the tanks, the noise, they were like they were very, very, very big, and then you could see like loads of them inside, and they're just going past us all the time at nighttime. And then obviously because they told us at nighttime it would be more dangerous, we're just outside on the road, cold, like at 5 a.m., and then no one's trying to stop and help. So we finally managed to get another wheel. We had like a spare wheel in the car. We managed to like put the tires and everything. It took like 2 hours maybe to leave the place, and then we started again the journey. And then we went into traffic again, and that was one of the longest one. It was like 5 hours at night. So then, literally, when the traffic actually started moving, it was daylight, and then I was having more calm because when it's daylight, it's not as bad when it's nighttime. But then in that moment of time, you could see like buildings with smoke and like fire. That's when I was worried again. I was getting worried. I was like, that looks like you could smell the smoke in your car. It was from far away. We could smell it like it was too much smoke around like that road. And then we kept driving, and then we finally got to the agent's house where we slept for 3 hours. We got some food. He provided some food. We all stayed there for a couple hours, 3 or 4 hours, and then we decided to continue the journey to the border now to Hungary. Where he rented us a minivan where we could all 9 of us get inside the car plus the little kid, and then he rented a driver that would drive us there. But obviously the driver's from Ukraine, so he's not allowed to go to the border, go through the border. So his job was just to get us to the border, and then we will walk a little bit and then get there and then try to get past. Because before getting there, we make sure we'll be able to go past walking, because obviously we won't be able to go with a vehicle. So after driving for like 10 hours to the border, we get there now. We're obviously happy. I think we're finally here after this long journey. We got there and I said, no, you can't go through you can't go through walking. You need a vehicle. We're thinking, what difference makes going walking or with a vehicle?
At that point, surely you're like, I mean, you must just feel really helpless.
Yeah, that time I was thinking, there's no way. We was holding the embassy letters that they talk with the Kiev embassy, all of it. No, I don't care. Go, I don't care. We were thinking, what is going on? They could see we had a little baby crying, like he's been traveling with us for how many hours. They didn't care. They just looked at us. Now, ask someone to get in the vehicle or something like that, and then you might be able to get inside. And I was like, at that point, I just gave up. I was thinking, yeah, I'm not gonna go through it. And then we asked people like, who we get in the car? Just literally like, the board is here, the car is here. You just have to go like that. And we'll get out. We'll find our way out from Hungary, but just let us go past 1.5 thousand euro just to get in the car.
So people were charging you 1,500 euros just to take you across the border.
Just literally to enter the car and go to the border and then get out. So like 20-second drive.
And let me get the figure right. 1,500 euros.
Yeah, 1,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, no one. And these were just normal people crossing the border, not.
Yeah, normal people, and some people like they actually bring cars there, so they will have a minivan empty, and their job is just to get people inside, but charging them.
I mean, where's the humanity? I mean, this is a racket.
That's what I said. That's what they were saying. Like my team is like at this point, like really, there's a war going on. Like if they kill you here, what are you gonna do with the money? Literally, like why literally laying us inside? And then obviously that after we was waiting there for 3 hours at the border, thinking how we're gonna get out. Now my Croatian teammate called Ivan, he was calling the embassy, and then we were sat down just like giving up. And then he called us like, come quick. So all like the group we were together, the 10 of us went there. And the Prime Minister from Croatia, he called the embassy in Kiev and they contacted the border and they let us through. They just literally opened the gate and let us through. And then we were thinking like, so for us to go through, someone big has to call like, the border to let us in. Like there's no difference between us, like we're gonna go in regardless, but why do you need someone like with power to call you to let us in?
So the Croatian Prime Minister had to call the
I think he called the embassy of Croatia in Ukraine. I don't know who he called, but I just know like he's the one that got involved and made us like helped us to just cross the border.
Wow! And how did your teammate get the details for the Croatian Prime Minister?
And that's what we know. He said, guys, I will be so honest with you. I have no idea how we managed to do this. Like, I just called the embassy of Croatia, and then they got in contact with them, and but we just got lucky. Like literally, you just luck.
Forgive me for asking a really ignorant question, but who is your teammate from the Croatian? Does he play for the national team?
No, he plays for my team. He's called Ivan Pesic. He just one of my teammates. He plays for our team. He's from Croatia, and yeah, that's all. Well, yeah, he's the one that literally saved us.
That is amazing. You obviously didn't get a chance to speak to the Croatian PM, but have you managed to speak to anyone at the embassy or from Croatia to say thank you for organizing this?
Yeah, the embassy from Spain, they said that, they also they went on said thank you to the Croatian embassy because, the embassy from Spain, they also couldn't, like, they tried everything and, they couldn't get us through. So they were really like, they're really glad that they helped us and they let us through.
I mean, that is such an incredible story. But I want you to keep going a little more because I'd imagine part of the story is you've now gone through. What happens from there?
Yeah, now we're going through the border now, and we're going to this Italian bus where we're all Ukrainian people, but from Italy with Italian passports. They were going to Napoli from Hungary. They were going to Napoli. So we were there waiting for, getting check the passports and everything. We were there for 2 hours, I think it just every time you get to another point, you have to wait
Why did you have to wait 2 hours?
Because they were checking everyone's passport. and the bus was literally full, and they had to check every single one of our suitcase and stuff. So it's just taking more long and long and long. But yeah, finally, when we go past now the border, actually enter Hungary now. We're in Hungary now. Croatia and Hungary, I think it's not too far from each other. So their parents from my other Croatian teammate, he's called David. His parents drove to the Hungary border to pick us up. They rented one minivan and they brought their car because they were going to drive from the Hungary border to Croatia, and then they also come and pick us up. So when we go to the Hungary border, they came and took me to the hotel with my other two teammates and his wife. So they took us to the hotel in Budapest. That was 4 hours away from the border. But before that, first thing we done was go to McDonald's and have some food, some warm food, because for the whole journey, like 2 days traveling, all I had was Pringles, water, and chocolate.
What did that McDonald's taste like?
Like heaven. Like literally, it was warm food. Like I was just the best McDonald's I ever had in my life. It tasted so nice.
Wow. I mean, this is such an incredible story. What did you feel when you got through the border crossing between the Ukraine and Hungary? What was that feeling?
It's relieved. Like I just felt good for me, but more was for my family, because I know now that at least they could, because my parents were not sleeping. All my friends were on my phone. Like I just felt like finally I can give them good news, because sometimes, like for example, they're broken, like the car when it broke down, I didn't tell my parents, I didn't tell people, because the stress is going on, and now I'm telling them this, and then I get no signal. They'll have no connection. I'm outside, the car is broken down. They'll be more worried, so I didn't want to give them that much stress. I was just waiting, and sometimes I wouldn't reply because there's no news. Like it's just the same thing happening. Like I'm just here waiting. I'm stuck here. I'm not going anywhere. So sometimes I will not reply just to like not give them bad news. Just like, yeah, it's okay, we'll get through soon. But when I finally cross the border, I just feel relieved. Like I can finally just tell my parents that I'm good. I'm safe. And yeah, that was the best thing. Like just letting my parents know that I was okay.
So you're in Hungary. How does the journey get you from? What is the journey from there to the United Kingdom now? How did you manage to organize that?
So we got a hotel I bought a ticket from Hungary to England, and then the ticket was for the day after so I think it was 24th now. So it was for the 25th, the flight. So yeah, I stayed over at the hotel in Budapest airport. It was inside the airport, so it was really good. So we don't have to like get a taxi or anything. I just have to walk to the airport, literally inside. So we got there. I stayed with my teammate. He flight to Luxembourg in the morning. I flight at 5:50. He flight at 12:30. So he left a bit earlier. He got there safe. He let me know he got safe there. But I stayed at the hotel, and then just there, got my flight 5:50. Went to the airport. Everything was fine. The control was fine. Go inside the plane safe. Everything was good. Then I got to Manchester at 7:50, and my agent came and picked me up and brought me to my house. My mom started crying. She saw me. First thing, she started crying, touched me. In one piece. Like she was just low, like emotional. Hugged my agent, saying thank you for bringing my son back. Like it was really emotional. Yeah.
I can imagine the fear, the concern, the emotion for all of you. What was the first thing you said to your mom?
I'm back. Like I'm good. And I told her like, what's for dinner? Because I'm starving.
What was for dinner?
Yeah, I was starving. It was one of my favorite plates. It's an Ivorian plate. It's called atike. I had that. I always ask my mom to make that when I come back from Ukraine for like holidays, like the 2 months over half. The first day I eat is that. So my mom knew what I wanted when I first came. It was there and the table was ready, waiting for me. So that felt really good.
And if you can explain to everyone out there, including myself, whet my appetite a little bit more, what is the dish? Is it vegetables? Is it meat?
It's like, if I can, couscous. Like
I do know couscous. I love couscous.
It's like a bit more big, and then you put like fried plantain. Plantain.
Yeah, no plantain. It's great.
And then like fish, and then like it's like atike is like couscous, but like a bit better.
Oh, that's amazing.
So
That is,
yeah,
you're making me hungry right now. This is what we should be eating as we break
yeah,
bread on your ordeal, not to make light of it in any way. Um, but Amilcar, I mean, coming back, seeing your parents, I mean, you talk about being relieved. You talk about tears. What did they say to you? What did you say to them? And what was that meeting like with your agent, who I know, Sariba?
yeah. With him, saw me as well. He was like, because he was all the time. I was on the phone to him all the time while I was there. So sometimes, because I had too many people at once, I would just I couldn't reply to everyone. So I would keep them. I would try to keep them updated on my Instagram story, or just trying to. Because instead of replying to everyone, if I could just put a big message to everyone, so everyone can just watch what's going on. So I will start doing that, or calling my agent and telling to let my parents know, or just like sometimes calling someone like knows loads of people that I know, family, like relative, and then just let them know what's going on. So he just like when he saw me, he just gave me a big hug, my agent, like saying like finally like because even his mom, my agent's mom, was like, you have this one of your clients in Ukraine, like getting back. His mom must have been so worried. So imagine like your parents are on your back now, like. So he was also really, really worried. Like he's the one that told me like he will come to Turkey and take me home, and then from there we'll see what's going on. And I was like, no, let me just go back to Ukraine because the same is fine. But then he knew from the call
Mm-hmm.
like he sort of come to Turkey and pick me up from there to avoid all of this. But at that moment it was different for me. So
I got you. Amilcar, you're 19. You've just turned 20.
I mean, yeah,
When you hear those bombs go off on your birthday,
yeah.
was
I
it?
was like, I was thinking, what a present, like, mate. I was like, my birthday was literally on the 22nd, and they invaded on the 23rd. I was like, wow. The 23rd, 24th, I think. But yeah, it was just close to my birthday when they invaded. And I was first of all, I didn't do nothing for my birthday because I was in Ukraine. And then I just stayed in my room. But uh, I was just thinking, like, 20 years old, like, who would have thought in 2022 we had like a big war like this? And then now I'm just like I'm still like really stressed about my teammates because I speak to them. My teammate called Ivan from Ukraine, he's a Ukrainian citizen. He's at home. He's telling me like explosions keep waking me up. I see fire from my room. I got all the teammates that live in the capital. You can see explosions every night. You can see like fire. You can see people getting taken to the army. Like they're really stressed, have to hide. The siren keeps going on, so they keep waking them up. And when that siren goes on, it's really, really, really loud. Like it's really scary. And then and just obviously all the time communicating with them to see like if I can help in anything, if I can do anything with them, because it's just they can live. I was lucky, like I was able to live and tell my story, but they have to live that every single day. They're still there, so I obviously keep praying for them and hopefully it ends soon for them because it's really hard. And the kids, some of them like they're 18, they're 17, they have to live there, and it's really hard.
You consider yourself one of the lucky ones for getting out. You have Ukrainian teammates who are still there.
Yeah.
Were any of your other foreign teammates who are trying to leave, have they all got out, or are some still trapped in the Ukraine?
I think they're off. Yeah, yeah, they've gone out. The last one to go out was yesterday. Two of them actually. One from Ghana, Codjovi, and one from Brazil, Lucas. He was at the Polish border for 2 days
And that's
waiting.
the Polish border, yeah?
Yeah, and then he was there for 2 days waiting, doing fire camps to warm up his feet and arms. Like he was there for 2 days, and he finally got to the Polish border. And I think he's currently in Portugal. And Jakubu from Ghana, he got past from the Hungarian border. He's currently in Hungary still, Budapest. He's going to Czech Republic to a Ghanaian consul, and they will get him to Ghana from there. So yeah, luckily they got past.
Absolutely. And if I can take you back to the border crossing in Hungary, when you guys were outside the car, and I asked this just to make sure we have the details correct. How many hours were you outside that car? How many hours were you waiting outside? Were you
Um,
in a shelter? Were you in the cold? What was that
I was
experience
just I
like?
was literally stranded outside in the cold. It was freezing. because even me, I can't handle cold that much because I come from like a hot country. So I was really freezing, and I stayed there minimum waiting 4 hours, just standing still, looking for a way to get past it. But yeah, we were outside, just standing. No shelter. There was no shelters because there weren't as much people as Poland. Poland was chaotic, but Hungary border, it wasn't as packed that the Polish border. But yeah, we just stranded outside. It was really cold.
So it took about 4 hours of waiting in the cold before they would process you, and that came via the call from the Croatian Prime
Right.
Minister to
Yeah.
help you guys get there and get through. When you were standing at the border, and again, I asked this question because it's something we've reported and we've seen reported on many outlets, is the fact that African and Indian migrants trying to cross the border have been stopped. They haven't been allowed to go over. And they've complained about racism and being treated really badly by the border authorities. When you were at the Hungarian border, what did you notice? What did you see?
Um, Personally, I didn't see anything racist there, mostly because there were not as many immigrants there, like from India or African people. It was more like Italians and people in the vehicles. There were mostly Ukrainian people with like Italian passports and stuff, or like, other passports from Europe. But I did hear like in the Polish border, they were putting like the black people at the back of the queue and they wouldn't let them go through sometime before the white people. But from my experience, I didn't see anything racist or experience anything racist to get past or notice anything. Actually, as well, one Indian guy, he crossed with us. He asked also them like, "Are you with them? Are you with us?" And we said, "Oh yeah, yes, with us." And then he crossed as well with us, this Indian guy. So yeah, we didn't get nothing about racism or anything like that.
Sure. So again, I asked mainly to get the story right. Did you see any black or Indian people trying to cross being sent to the back of the line, or is that
No,
just what you heard?
that's what I heard. Like from my experience, I haven't seen anything like with all this racism and stuff. But that also happened after I crossed that the news I've been hearing is being recent. So I don't really have enough information about that. But from my experience, I haven't seen anything like that.
Got you. The Indian gentleman who joined your party when you crossed, do you think he would have got over on his own, or do you think it helped that he came
Yeah,
with
I
you
think
guys?
it helped because at that moment we were already crossing, we were talking about it, showing the passports and stuff. And he was talking to one of my teammates. So yeah, it did really help that we were there at that point. I don't think he would have got past because he was on his own there. So yeah, I
And
don't
he
think he
was
would.
on foot, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Wow, wow. This is obviously such an incredible story. There's so much to unpack, Amilcar. I mean, this is, I mean, a pretty crazy story. Um, what was the most scary thing on your journey?
For me, it was when we broke down and we were just stranded there, and I kept seeing like tanks going past us and just the troops inside. Like, when you see someone wearing the before when I was in Ukraine, I used to see like because where we train is close to like the one of the army camps where people train. So sometimes you will hear gunshots and see people wearing like the army uniform, but I didn't feel like that point of time. I didn't feel like scared or anything. But the other that night, I was when I see them like you see lots of them together inside like this big tank. I was worried because I was thinking, imagine like someone from Russia sees them here, they start shooting each other, and maybe something comes up to rebound to us or something like this. So that was the most scary thing that I'll say, like just seeing the tanks with the troops inside and stuff.
You've spoken about the scariest moment. What was the moment where you felt most helpless? Was that at the border?
Yeah, at the border, that's when all my I thought like when I got to the border, I was gonna be like finally like relieved, like. But they told me now, one of my teammates told me, we're not there yet. Don't sing victory yet because we're still in Ukraine. I was thinking, yeah, it'll be fine. But then when they told us we can't get past, I was just like, yeah, I'm staying here. There's no way back out. And then we had no car now. Like all the cars were like 10 hours away. So you were thinking, now, even if we have to go to another border, how will we get to the other border? Like we can't walk. So at that point in the moment, I was thinking, wow, so this is it. We got to here, but yeah, I felt so helpless because it's nothing I could have done anyways.
What did you do to keep yourself calm? We talk about mental health. Mental health is an important aspect.
Mm.
How were you ensuring your mindset was strong, was calm? Were you praying? Was there a mantra that you had? What did you do?
I just kept sleeping. Like even if I wasn't like, even if I couldn't sleep anymore, I would just keep closing my eyes and thinking about when I was in Spain, when I was in England, just chill and just thinking about the actual people that live in Ukraine. Like they have no way out. They have to stay. They have to fight. Have to stay there. So I was trying to put my position in a place where I was a bit more lucky than them. So I was more like, even like if I got through the border, that they would not be able to. My teammates, like, I should just be grateful for anything that happens. Like I just kept telling my parents that I'm good, it's okay, like I'll be fine. I was just calming my parents because I didn't want anything to happen to them, like by stress or anything. Because my mom has high blood pressure, so if I tell her like, oh, this happened, I'm not feeling okay, or I'm stranded in the motorway, she could like have a panic attack or anything. So I just kept whenever I had a chance, just kept calling my parents and just letting them know I was okay, so they could be calm. So that will be also calm. If that will calm me down, because if they're calm, I'll be calm. Well, if my mom is panicking, she will give me the stress that she's having, because I know she's not alright. She's just panicking at home, thinking I'm not alright. So I just making sure I'm alright. And by thinking I'm alright, I'll feel more like better. So I'll just keep myself calm and just thinking everything will be fine.
You're newly turned 20.
Yeah.
This is, you're still a young man. You're still learning the world. You're still blazing a trail. Um, do you think that you will go for some form of counseling or professional help to just
Mm,
process what you've been through?
no, I don't think I will be. Yeah, I don't think I will, because I don't think I've experienced a really bad, like with my birthday, and then I experienced a really bad situation and like through the war and stuff. But I don't think it will affect me mentally, because I just think like I made it out. I didn't experience anything, like I didn't see any dead bodies, or I didn't see anything like would traumatize me or think like, wow, like I can't believe I've seen this. But I mean, I will not forget this for sure. I will not forget this. Something I will tell my grandkids. But yeah, I won't go to nowhere to like get treatment or anything. I just now put my head into what's next.
Do you think you'll ever return to the Ukraine Premier League to play again?
This is, I don't think so. It's really difficult now because they're suspending the league for 1 month, and right now, my parents there. There's no way I'm going back to Ukraine. Like my mom will not let me go back to Ukraine. My dad will not let me go back to Ukraine. So now it's really difficult now because I'm a professional footballer now, but I have no. Oh, sorry. Oh yeah. I'm a professional footballer now, and I have no club now basically, because I can't really go back to Ukraine. So I'm just waiting for the future what brings. If I can train with anyone, or I'm gonna keep keeping myself informed for anything that comes. But going back to Ukraine is really, it's not really an option at this point of time. Even when the war finishes, I don't think if football would be the same in Ukraine, if they would recover from the war, because to recover from a war, it doesn't take a couple of years. It takes a lot of time. So people, I think, that will live in the countries and stuff. So I'm just now gonna focus on training, keep myself informed, and be ready for anything that comes.
Given your ordeal, given how unprepared you say the club were, I have to imagine there's a trust issue with you perhaps not wanting to go back.
Yeah, as well. Like me, I'm just thinking like I wouldn't. I wouldn't even go back myself if I had the chance because, you know, um, I just don't feel like that's my place anymore. You know, it really looked like my place when it was starting. Like I was happy there. You know, I thought I was gonna make a name of my. I was gonna make a name and a career out there because everything was going fine. I just walked with the first team, scored my first professional goal. Everything was going, you know, on the right path. But this happened, and the way they acted as well, it didn't really reassure me now. So going back, I don't think it's an option anymore.
What were your dreams when you first started out playing in the Ukraine Premier League? Was it to win the league, play in the Champions League, win the Golden
I,
Boot? What what
I,
what did you envisage?
obviously my team is a team that always finishes between fourth position, like top five in the Premier League. So they usually play Europa League, and now this new league that's called the Conference League, they'll usually be in there. I was on the bench actually with them in the Conference League. So I was just thinking I want to play Champions League or Europa League and score one goal, or just score my first professional goal, and it happened. And I played against like big teams like Shakhtar Donetsk and Dynamo Kiev. And that's thing like when I was in England and my agent told me about going to Ukraine, the first thing that came to my mind is like, if I go to Ukraine, I'll be able to play against Shakhtar or Dynamo Kiev. So when I actually got the opportunity with the first team, I was on the bench against Shakhtar and Dynamo Kiev, and I played both games. So I was thinking like I'm playing against world-class players, like they're playing Champions League, they're playing against big clubs. It's a big experience. So when I achieved that, and then I see when I played against them, I thought myself like, I need to like, I'm nowhere near them. I feel like I'm really far from them. I need to work hard if I want to play like in these big levels. So that really hurt me as well. And then my dream was just to play Champions League. I just want to play in the big leagues and against the best players. So, yeah.
You've obviously been through an incredibly difficult period.
Yeah.
What would you say your highlight was during your time in the Ukraine? I know it might sound like a strange question to ask now,
Yeah.
but when you look back at your 2 years you were there, what would you say was your best experience?
My first professional goal, obviously. When I scored my first goal in a big stadium like that, I scored the feeling of the fans shouting my name, everything like making my mom proud, my dad proud. Like that's what everyone wants to be like. Like all the footballers that play, they aspire to be professional football players and like score in like a big stadium, you know. And it was a nice goal, and it felt really good. Like seeing my name out there, like you know, seeing me in the TV scoring, celebrating, everything like the stadium going crazy, like that feeling like it just felt like I've never experienced something like that. And obviously I wanted to continue to be like that. But really doing do it the circumstances now, it'll be hard, but that experience I will never forget it.
You're probably never going back to play in the Ukraine. There might be relationships you've left there, friendships.
Yeah.
Are there any friendships that you're going to miss? Is there another half that you might be leaving there? I mean, is there anything that you're going to particularly miss, and some friends that you fear you
Yeah.
might never see again?
Yeah, my friends, my best friend there from Ukraine is Ivan Sarenko. I call him Modric because he had before long hair. He looks like him. He's not he's 18, but he's now in this city called Zaporizhia in Ukraine, and they invade as well. They bomb the airport. He can see fire from his house. So I'm really worried for him as well, thinking like maybe something could happen to him. He could go to the war. So I'm all the time in contact with him. He even texted me like, I don't know when I will see you next. I'll just say like, for me, if you can get out of the country one day, or you know, just be safe. That what matters to me. After that, after once you find and you're out of the country, we can meet. But right now, my first like the first thing is for you to be safe. So all the time keep in contact and everything, like just to let me know how it goes and stuff. But I will be missing him a lot, and like you know, all my friends that all the teammates from there that play for my team and stuff, I will be missing them because obviously 2 years with people all the time because in accommodation we live together. So I will see him every day. I'll see him with my parents and stuff. So you know, you get closer.
Russia have been kicked out of international football competitions.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Their teams have been banned from playing in club competitions run by UEFA and run by FIFA. What do you think about that?
Obviously, I get where it comes from, but I think like the bad thing about this war is like Putin is just making Russia, like the citizens from Russia, look bad. Like people now when they hear Russians, they're like, oh, Russian people are not nice. But like the citizens, some of the citizens they don't want war as well. You know, like it's not their fault that Russia is fighting with Ukraine. Like if you see someone from Russia, you can't just be like, oh yeah, it's from Russia. Yeah, they have no feelings. Like they're also human beings. Like they're thinking the same thing as well. Like like what's happening is not nice. But obviously the decision was made, so I can't really say anything about it. But I just feel like it's not the fault of the citizens from Russia that they're having all this war. Like they probably as well shocked as we are because they also have hearts, and there are no people from Russia that have family in Ukraine. So it's just like it's not convenient for none of the Ukrainian or Russians. Like the fight that's happening is just like it's crazy, to be honest.
What is your message to any Russians or Ukrainians listening out there to you?
I just I'm praying for them. I just wish like they stay safe. Like they don't try and do something crazy, and just stay at home, stay indoors, and keep yourself safe. We'll be praying for everyone in Russia and Ukraine, but yeah, mainly in Ukraine because they're the one that getting invaded. But I know people in Russia that are also praying for Ukrainians because I don't think war. No one wants war, so it's not something where anyone will wish on anyone. So I know everyone is praying for Ukraine, and like me, I'm praying for my Ukraine, for my friends, the people I know. I just hope they stay out safe there.
You've had a few days to look back at your journey and everything that's happened. What have you learned from this ordeal?
But I need to listen to my gut and what people tell me sometimes because like if I listen to what my agent and other people telling me like about the war that there's a war there, people kept telling me it's media thing. If I from Turkey went straight to Manchester, I probably just wouldn't have go back. But looking back now, I'm thinking like, yeah, it's easy to me to say now, yeah, I should have gone home because this happened. But at that point of time, I wasn't thinking about going home. I was just thinking about me playing. Like I wanted to play football. I wanted to go back, and because I was going to the first team, I was going to play with the first team and that. So looking back, I just wish like I listened more to the people that were advising me to go back home.
You're still a young man. You still want to play professional football. For those who are hearing this interview, they might not know that you're eligible for a number of countries. Do you want to let people know which countries you're eligible for and how you've managed to get that eligibility? In many ways, you're a man of many passports.
Yeah, so obviously because I was born in Spain, I was born and raised in Spain. I can play for Spain because I lived there for like 15 years. Oh, yeah. Because I played there for like 15. I lived there for 15 years, and then I can play for Ivory Coast because my mom is from Ivory Coast, and I could also play for Guinea-Bissau because my dad is from Guinea-Bissau. And now that I've lived in England for 5 years, I could also be eligible to play for England.
And is it a case of whoever calls your number first?
Yeah, like I'm ready for any like national team that calls me. Obviously, my dad wanted me to play for Guinea-Bissau because it's the country, it's his country. My mom wants me to play for Cote d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast. I'm just like, I'm not in a position to choose what country I'm gonna play with right now. Mama. I don't have a club. Like I just came back, so anything that comes, I'll be grateful to go and play all different colors.
I know that you're saying you're waiting for the next step, but if I was to say to you, you could choose anywhere to go and play, whether it's in England, whether it's in the United States, whether it's back in Spain, Where would you like to go next? Where would you ideally like to play if you were able to choose your next step?
Obviously, I will first of all I would like to play where my family is, so I'm close to them. So it should be like if I was to like choose, it would be Spain or England, just because I got family there. But I wouldn't mind anywhere in Europe, like United States. I wouldn't mind playing Europe, United States, like Germany, France, because it's all close. I can speak Spanish, French, English, so it's not like I would struggle if I play in any Europe country, because I can also communicate with them. Not like in Ukraine. In Ukraine, it was really hard for me to communicate as well, because they don't speak, really much English, and I didn't speak Russian because they speak Russian in Ukraine. So it was hard for me to communicate. But with my communication skills, I think I could play, in a lot of countries. So, but first of all, my first two options to always be Spain and England. That's where I live.
Wow, what an incredible story. We certainly hope you found that story enlightening, and do let us know what you think by leaving a comment below or on our social media accounts. You can find us at OTW_podcast on Twitter and Instagram. For now, though, we wish you well wherever you are in the world, as we hope and pray the war ends soon. All the best. Goodbye.